Good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to the Women's Show. My name is Caroline Ayot. I am your host. The 2026 campaign roadmap from the women's perspective is our discussion today. We'll be looking at concerns, expectations, and the untold influence. As the 2026 presidential campaign begins, we find ourselves at a critical crossroads, not just politically, but also socially and culturally. Women across the country, from all walks of life, are paying attention, asking tough questions, and pushing for answers that go beyond the headlines and the hollow promises. Tonight, we are diving deep into the voices that too often get talked about but not talked with. We'll explore what's keeping women at night as voters and as citizens, what they want to hear from those seeking their vote, and how, even without a female name at the top of the political office, their influence comes to shape the conversations that matter and the policies that make sense. From the policy priorities and grassroots organization to the pulse of young first-time voters and the stubborn barriers to leadership. We're not just taking the political temperature, we are amplifying the perspective that's settling in. So whether you're here to listen, to learn, or to challenge, or to be challenged, welcome, and let's dive into the conversation. And to help us shape these narratives, we have on the panel Winfred Mugambwa. She's an Eco Feminist and a regular at the Women's Show. Welcome, Winfred, to the conversation.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing? And how is the political temperature treating you?
I'm alive and grateful. Personally, I live in the reality. That is why I don't feel that tense. Of course, there are fears that come in, but I don't put myself on tension because I live in the reality. I don't expect much change, positive change from what really has been happening. Yeah.
Well,
so I live in the reality.
Well, let's talk about the red flags, for example, like you pointed out. What are the red flags that you've noticed from this time of the presidential nominations, or just during the electoral period, from the voter registration, from the looking at the roadmap, but also the internal elections, and now that we're getting into the presidential nominations? What are the red flags that you believe will influence the elections?
Like I've told you, I personally live in the reality, and me saying that this is what is going to shape election that are going to differ from what shaped elections in the last election, I would be lying to myself. It is obvious. The incumbent, the sitting in party is going to shape. That is the reality.
Yes.
NRM is going to shape the next elections. You get it?
Yes, yes.
But as a woman, I want to now speak to the perspective of women. What is going to shape our decision making? What is going to shape our involvement? What is going to shape our next step?
Yes.
To me, I feel, not feeling, but I know that, and everyone has to testify to this, that women are not just people who make decisions from the podium, that we are going to go, hear the manifestos, hear the slogans that people are saying, the leaders are saying, and we are going to just be moved with the wave. That is not women. Women are action-oriented. You get it?
Yes.
So for us, even before the day, we come from where we are. Women come from markets. Because I'm in the market, that is going to shape my next decision in elections. Because of my needs as a woman in the market. We have people coming from the health sector. And remember, even all of us as women, because we are mothers, we are clients, meaning that we are also shaped within the health sector.
Yes.
Meaning that also the health sector is going to shape our decision making during that time. We look at things like, how is the health sector? You get it?
Yeah.
There are women who are going to, their thinking is shaped by education. So given what is going around, if different parties are coming up, what are they speaking about education? So if my thinking is shaped around education, how I want the education to be in the future, it means that my red flags that will shape my decision as a woman will focus more around there. You get it? So as women, we are not like any other creature. That is what I believe. I'm speaking as a woman.
Yes.
And as I've seen with other women, our decisions are not shaped by. So the red flags, our red flags will be around what have they done? What has the sitting government done around education? What have they done around health? What are they, you know, we've always been having political violations around times like this. How is it going to do? How is it going to be? Are women going to be abducted? Are women going to be sidelined? Are women going to be violated? You know, violation even starts from not only from the military. Women are also violated from home. Some are even refused to contest because they are women. You get it? In parties, we've seen that. So many things. There are very many red flags. When we speak about now, where we see not even having a single woman on the ballot paper is already a red flag to some women who really believe, because there are some women who really believe that I really need to see a woman there. To see the change they've been telling us about, having no woman there, there is a lot of patriarchy. Maybe it's because people think that that very top position has to be occupied by men. So also that has already put a red flag in very many people's understanding. So for women, we don't just look at things on paper. We don't just, we come from where we are. Everyone comes from where we are. The past has shaped our thinking. The past, what we've gone through, has shaped our future. We look at what is in there for us. Yes?
Yes.
It is not about saying, it's not about promises. You get? Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. So earlier this year, the Uganda Women Network put out a women's manifesto, and of course some of the issues that you mentioned, especially around healthcare, education, but also violence against women and girls, was one of the most highlighted issues in that manifesto. Are the women really being heard? Based on our experience, past and present, because we know that many women have made it to the House, in the legislature, and ideally our issues are supposed to be pushed forward, our agenda is supposed to be heard. So in what ways are we sidelined that some of these issues do not make it to policy at the end of the day?
Yes, we have to appreciate that there are now big numbers there.
Yes.
Even if it is in parliament, we have, is it how much? How many is it? I've forgotten the exact number.
More than 130.
Yes, we have a big number there. But again, we can't say that people have made it to the positions or to the places and they are not talking. You know?
Yes.
You know, patriarchy is, or violations addressed in different ways. Silencing women comes in very many forms. We have heard about sexual harassment. We've heard about sexual harassment even in parliament. Do you think, can we ask ourselves that, is it also there around the cabinet? Because those are the influential spaces that influence policies. Is it there? I can't say yes or no. But because we've had some people in those positions speak about it, it confirms that it is there. Yes. And remember, one way that perpetrators use to silence women is around touching our body. You get it? Sexually violating us gets us to be silenced. Having women there and they don't speak, also, I feel disappointed. Like very many people are saying many women have not made it to the ballot paper. Very many women have had disappointed. But personally, I've not been disappointed. Why? Because we have been disappointed by very many women in positions. But maybe before these women went into these spaces, they were not empowered enough. You know, they were not empowered enough on issues, on how best to support women.
Yes.
You get it? Maybe because of the rotten system in place. Because you can't tell me why you're going to be Jesus. No. These women are not going to be Jesus. Of course, with some of them having bad manners, that is the reality. We can't say that some of them are, we can't say that 100% these women in those spaces are the victims. No. We have some who are there who are not victims, who have even fueled patriarchy, who have fueled perpetrators do the things they do, who have even contributed to some policies that would favor women, that would support women or even girls. They've not done anything. They've just kept silent. Maybe because of the corruption that is going on. Because we are witnessing one thing, even our president once, I think at the beginning when he was starting to do campaign, he talked about one of the major problem in Uganda right now. The president confessed that it is corruption. So who am I not to speak about it? If the president can sit and say that corruption is a problem right now of Uganda.
That his government is battling corruption.
Yes, the government, if the whole president can say that, and other women, maybe they're also getting, sometimes when we sit with corrupt people, we become corrupt ourselves. You get it? So, yes, I would say that to some extent, women's voices are sidelined because of the systems in place, because of already the processes in place. It is not easy with the number. With the number there, we can't say that it can be 100% easy for them to influence what is there. Sometimes people choose to join. Well, let's join the struggle. Let us join what is going on. But we've been really disappointed by very many women. Of course, some people will say that that is wrong. It is a very wrong statement to come from a fellow woman. No. I told him I live in the reality. Yes, there are women who have disappointed us. And most women who have positions of influence have disappointed us. But again, we have to appreciate some women have tried. But because their voices are at a level that can't fully make change, they are sometimes silenced. Yes.
Thank you so much. And I do relate with what you're saying, because we have to acknowledge where we have loopholes, but also give credit where it is due. I understand that very well. Now, going into the hidden drivers, you know, for the whole of last week, when the Electoral Commission released the list of 8 male candidates, the topic on every TV show was no woman on the ballot. And they said, who will drive the agenda for women? But, you know, I also happened to have a conversation on NBS on the same thing, and they were like, where are the women? Which is what I want us to talk about, the hidden drivers, because we have never had a woman president in this country. No, we have never. And yet, the women's agenda has always been a present issue. It has always been in conversations. So how are the women contributing to the process? And what do you think women are doing on the sidelines that people are not giving recognition to?
We have to appreciate that civil society has done a lot of work.
Yes.
We have to appreciate that women who are there before, like Dr. Miriam Atembe, Winnie Byanyima, the late Milia Obote, the late
Rhoda
Kalema. Many women have contributed a lot. You get it?
Yes.
To shape the discussion around women. You get? Yes. Surprisingly, the women we see on the ballot paper, I can't say they've not been doing anything. But most times, if you've been hearing, people have been asking, where has this woman come from? You get it? Not that they've not done anything, but they've been there and also influencing from where they are, but again, not influencing alone. By the time at some point we have women have go in spaces or even take up spaces or even at some point have them on the ballot paper, it means that there are other women doing a lot of work behind. You get? So even in just, let's agree that even shaping elections, women are the biggest influencer. We have the power of numbers because we are the majority.
Yes.
Women have the power of numbers. Women we are custodians at home, which means we have an influence in homes. We are heads. We're heads in organizations. We are heads in schools. We are heads in hospitals. We have. When you look at the grassroots, I think even when you see, let me give an example. Have you witnessed that even when the president is the president, when you see the history, most of his secretaries and people around him are women. It means that even men will know that if you want to drive something, have the woman at the backbone of it.
Yes, yes.
You get it? So women have been the driver of this, of what?
Of conversations.
Of conversations around elections, of conversations around change, of conversations around growth, and conversations around influence. So when we say who is going to push, when people question that who is going to push the women agenda, the question will be who pushed the women agenda at first. When we saw those women, the first women in parliament, we always have that woman who will stand up to speak the women agenda. And we also have allies. We have men who are our allies,
yes,
who speak about our agenda. And I believe that even when from the beginning, of course, NRM now changed from where they came from, their manifesto. But we have to accept that from the beginning, the president was a driver of the women agenda. Yes, if you look at the first manifesto he brought, he was. And even when you see the previous manifesto, even when he's speaking, you see he is a driver of a women agenda. But again now, how are we moving forward collectively, push to see that what is in the agenda of the next president or even the different political parties? How are we pushing those agendas that are there? Right now, women are asking, women will be asking, okay, everyone is coming. Nope is telling us of a new Uganda. What does it look like? What does it look like? How is, like, we want to see the picture of a woman in that new Uganda.
Yes.
You get it? Because remember, the vision is with the vision bearers. So you're coming to the women to tell them that we need to vote for a new Uganda. What is in there? What is in the package of the new Uganda? NRM is telling us that protecting the gain. How is the woman protected within the gain? Seeing the political violations, the human rights violations going on. So what is so for us, we come off to understand what is in there for us to push the women agenda forward. And we can only do that collectively from where you are. Everyone where you are. Even if you're a farmer, how can you protect the women agenda within the agricultural sector? If it's about education, how are you protecting the women agenda around education? We shouldn't think that our agenda is around the position of the president. No. We need to continue pushing our agenda from where it is. Now let me give you an example. There was a discussion around education where I had the president is proposing a means of education to have education. Now people, of course they are not removing, how I understood it, they are not removing secondary education and university, but they are putting, I think they are putting in place, if someone studies up to senior 4, they can branch off. You get it?
Yes.
Of course, to some extent, that is killing the education of Uganda. But to me, as a person who did finance and as I see how people love money, for them, I feel they're looking at taxation. They're looking at, if we have these people now go branch off to an institute, it means they will start early to work. When they start early to work, it means that we are going to get revenue from them. It means that we are going to increase the tax base. They can go back to school at any one time, because you see that most of the people heading us now went back to school after. You get it? So for me, I think their aim is around taxation, increasing the taxation gap, the taxation base. For me, that is what I think. Even when we say the education system is being killed, no. Are we also looking at now the taxation base being, you get it? Which might also be a problem to Ugandan. For them, it might see that, okay, we are increasing the taxation base, but again, we are also putting a burden to Ugandans. You get it? So where you are, people in education, how best have we analyzed? Because this election, meaning it's going to shape our future. It is going to shape our agenda, our future for the next 5 years. We've heard about allegations of how they want to change that the president is being elected by member of parliament. That is why I'm saying women agenda should be shaped from where you are. People how can we even wake up as women now to see that is this allegation true? People around there who can influence that, what are they doing? So the women agenda has always been shaped from where people are. It came from grassroots people. We've been having those discussions, meaning that it is going to still be
there, regardless of whether a woman is on the ballot or presidential seat or not.
Because even now the question would be, if the woman was there on the ballot, how is it going to contribute to women's agenda? Even when we know that they might not go through. Last year, personally, I voted the woman who was there. The past times I've been, because for me, I was like, okay, let me see. But again, after voting these people, you never see them again. Even when it's, just making it to the ballot paper, for me, it is a win. You get it? After the elections, how are you still present?
And steering conversation.
So that by the next time you come back, we have seen that you're doing something. You get it? So there's a question. It is really a painful question as a woman to pose it there that, okay, we've had women on the ballot paper.
Where are they?
Where have they been? Where have they been? And two, how has it shaped the women agenda? It might have shaped it, a discussion we need to have, so that we can go back and again shape the conversation having women there. Because if we say that electoral commission is saying they didn't have the signatures required, now we need to have a discussion around there. You get it? If they had stayed around and we have those conversations, what were some of the challenges you faced? We would know that the level is not leveled enough.
It's not a leveled playing field
for everyone.
Yes.
Maybe by the time by 2025, by 2024, there would be a push back around the leveled ground for candidates, because you can't say that all the candidates can go around. Is it two-thirds of the districts?
Yes.
You get it? You see where people are coming from. So there needs also there is need of policy change around there. You can't tell me that people have to pay 20 million. Yes, is everyone having that money? You get it? Some, it's like the animal farm. Already other people already seated in the place. They have the money. So we look at another issue about leave alone the signatures. There is also another one. Anyway, the issue is, can we start before to see that we level the ground for all parties, whether it's women, so that women can also gather that what has hindered them right now of having signatures. How best can we?
I'm going to come back to the conversation of EC and signatures, but right now there is a question that has puzzled many people. And one of the questions that was asked when they talked about women not being on the ballot, or one of the observations that was made, was that every time a woman was on the ballot, she did not even make it to 10% of the national vote in Uganda. That the percentage of the votes they gathered could not reach even 10%. And the question that was asked was that why
because they are not present.
Why do women not vote other women?
No, because they are not present. You people, let us know, because we are women, we are not going to be a dumping ground. No. No. Because we are women, we are not going to be a dumping ground. That someone will just come during... Personally, I've told you, I voted those. I personally, I've confessed, I did vote. Why did I vote? My reason for voting a woman was, let me vote a woman, and by that I knew that she wasn't going to go through. Yes. But I wanted to see after the election.
What are they going to do?
What are they going to do? Yes? You get? So it is not that women don't vote women. But like I've told you, for us, we are thinkers. We are action-oriented. We want to make impact. We ask ourselves, women ask. So, first of all, women who have been going on the ballot paper for the past, let me say the last 2 elections, I think they came from a quiet space. And even when they came from a quiet space, they didn't do campaigns as expected. They weren't present for themselves. Why do you expect me to be present for you when you are not present for yourself?
People would say, considering the barriers that women face when they're in politics, that it's extremely hard for women to exhibit the same aura as the male politicians, because most of them just come, chant slogan, and people jump on the slogan. But it's much harder for a woman to actually come and chant a slogan, and people jump on the slogan, or for them to gather as much support as their male counterparts.
That is very true, and that is why in the beginning I talked about the challenges women face.
Yes.
And what you're saying is very true. Women find... That is why I told you I went and voted Nancy, and I knew she wasn't going to go through because of the challenges, right?
Yes.
But again, there are women's spaces that have been created. Try to be present in those spaces. So me, what I'm trying to bring on in this discussion is to avoid the blame game of women not voting women. You get it? We have now things are digitalized.
Yes.
You can just put on that and have some campaign and have people share. You get it? You might not have the numbers, but again, we have to accept that elections in Uganda are corrupted, and we have voters who are poor. You get?
Yes.
Who are influenced by money. Of course, I've had people blame people that why do you take money? You're selling your vote. You're selling the country. You people, when you don't have what to eat, that is when you know that someone can sell their vote. Reality, sometimes in reality, yes, it is wrong to sell a vote, but reality on ground hits most. So people on ground, either women on ground, might not have voted their fellow women because what the reality on ground. Reality on different grounds is different. In Central, I think reality in Central is different from reality in the North or even Eastern. So reality on ground shapes everything. If votes are being stolen, if that allegation is true, where we can say that it might be true because court has said, ruled that campaigns have not gone on well, though they have not ruled that some other party is told, but at least they've shown that they have not gone on well.
They say there might be some malpractice, but it didn't influence the result of the
which
election.
Is okay. We don't want to hear about the end of the end of the sentence. We go with the first sentence that at least they acknowledged. You get it?
Yes.
So that on ground influences. So that percentage, whether they didn't make it at that they didn't make the 10%, how about that percentage the court is saying influence the huge numbers? So truth is, what the reality on the ground shapes. You get. If voters are being given money, don't think they'll vote you. And that goes back to what we are all saying, that yes, there are barriers. We accept there are barriers. Yes? But even as there are barriers, even those women have not been present for themselves. And yes, maybe they didn't have the money. They didn't have, but how can they be, the next person, how can they be creative enough within the small limit to make an influence, an impact? You might not make it to the presidential seat, but your words influence and shape a narrative. Because we have to agree, women's voices, even when we've been silenced, women's voices have shaped narratives. We've had women stand in parliament full of more than men, more than when men are more, and we've had women speak even when their request has not been heard, but when their voice has been heard outside there. I believe let me give you an example of Dr. Matembe. Most of us loved her and liked her because of her voice, because of how she has tried to influence, even when
her requests were denied.
Yes, were denied. Every woman, I don't think, when we hear about the challenges of women who have been there, we've heard about the challenges they've faced. It has not been easy for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand, but I don't want to blame women who have not voted women. I don't want to blame them because of different reasons. And the main thing is, truth is, reality shapes, what is on ground shapes everything that is going on. But again, they also need to be present for themselves.
Thank you, Winfred. That is extremely insightful. And, you know, the reality shapes what people do. Now, you know, let's talk about institutions. I know we never want to do, we say these people are extremely corrupted and there's no saving them sometimes, but we need to talk about these institutions because they're the ones that we need to hold accountable if we want to see the results that we desire in any election. And in this one, we're talking about the EC, the Electoral Commission, the Independent Electoral Commission. We're talking about the Uganda Police, and we're also talking about the military or the forces. Now, in a new development, I remember about 3 months ago, the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi, said that all presidential candidates during the election will be protected by special forces, people from the army, which is not provided by in law. And now, in a recent development, the EC also declared that presidential candidates will be protected by special forces. We've been talking about how the army should stay away from elections, considering their history of violence and all those things. What is your perspective on this, on how these things are developing? Should we be worried for our candidates? Because we know that elections can get so violent in this country that we've seen open gunfire happening.
And that is the reason why what they will say, what EC will say, because of the violence, the history we've been seeing around, that is why we are giving them this special force. You see, you've also answered the reason why they are doing that. So, like I've told me, I no longer worry myself. Of course, of course, there is a question around why.
Yes.
Why military? Why a change this time? But again, my question would be, have the candidates come out to criticize that development? Have they come out to speak to it or even refuse? Have they? What is their take on that? Before me as just a citizen.
Honestly, I think the analysis comes from the fact that some of us are legal personnel. We are lawyers, and so we see the loopholes real quickly before most of these people do. And
they also have legal representatives. They
yes.
have legal persons in
yes, they do have legal personnel. But with the charged campaign fever, I don't think they'll realize it until the moment when the things become fishy.
Of course, the truth is, we have to question that.
Yes.
It is wrong. But as me as a citizen, to question that, yet for them, they've not yet questioned it, and they are going to enjoy the... You get it? With even... Because first of all, meaning that their movements are going to be monitored. It means that there is a lot of... even not only their movements, you never know what might, because for them, I think they are coming off saying, because of the violations that happen, we've come in to protect.
To give you protection.
In fact, they will say police has asked us
to protect you.
To come in and protect because they can't manage. You get? Because I was in some meeting, I think it was organized by CCG.
Uganda Country Forum.
Yes, where they said it is us who called them in. You get it? So they will say police has asked us, meaning we can't. You get it? So I think the first voice to criticize this move should first come from the candidates themselves. You get it? Me as a citizen, yes, it's worrying. So it is even defining, it's a red flag, by the way. We are talking about the red flags. So it's one of the red flags.
Yes.
So it means that it's now shaping, it has to shape our thinking around the security during the time of voting. Meaning that, fellow women, if you're going to vote, go early. Make sure you don't go around cocoons. Because you people, no one who is dead is still voting. No, dead people don't vote. So if you still want to see your next president, because this is a red flag already. It is a red flag, and how they see it, because if military, the head of military came out and said that, and now EC is coming out to, not even to say that, it is coming out to stamp. For them, they just came to stamp it. So me as a fellow Ugandan, I will wait to add my voice after the candidates have said something.
The EC also nullified signatures almost on the last day for a lot of candidates, including the female candidates we're talking about, Nancy Kalembe, but also Yvonne came in and made her complaints. And in like a contradicting tale between the EC and the candidates, the EC came in and said that the candidates did not meet the criteria, especially with their signatures. As far as I know, according to the Constitution, they met criteria like the citizenry, they were part of the voters register and all those things. However, the people were informed that they did not make the mark. Some of the presidential candidates came and said that the signatures that they submitted were verified fine, but they were not told on time. It's like on the last day, they wait for you and hijack you and say, you're not making it to the ballot. But also, some people came and got their stamps on their nomination days. That is what they said, some candidates, like the one for the Common Man's Party, they say he got his signature on that very day. I do not know whether or not that is true, so I want to put that disclaimer there. But most importantly, the EC did not give the criteria under which these people's signatures were disqualified. And the common thing about this, allow me finish, the common thing about the candidates that were mostly disqualified, they were all independent candidates who were not belonging to political parties. Is that a sort of censure on their voices, because over 200 people came and asked to be part of the presidential ballot, because that was also an issue. They were like, what criteria are we using to select the president? And some of the responses from EC was like, not everyone will make it to the ballot. So do you believe what the EC owes the country some type of accountability? But why do you think that the EC never gives that accountability, especially in this time?
I think they need to be, let the candidates, personally I would advise, at least if one candidate can come up and sacrifice themselves for the others, how? Bringing those, because they have their documents. And we have this, the EC held accountable. Because if what they're saying is not true, and the candidates have, because we need to differentiate, we need to go away from collectively saying the other, because there were 200 and now 8 have made it. How can EC not let the 190
make it?
We want, let's solely fight for the people who really had the rightful documentation. But when we speak and we speak in collectives, it means we are also those ones who really didn't have the rightful documentation. They are also now speaking from there, also saying EC didn't allow us. So let's avoid speaking in collectives. I think Electoral Commission needs to be held accountable. In case where the failure is on their side, they need to be held accountable. We can't, because we just let things flow, it means that they are taking us for granted. Let one of them who really knows that their documents were right come out. I believe citizens will, and very many lawyers will help the person. So let them come out and hold EC accountable for their actions.
Yes. Thank you very much. And now, of course, we cannot leave the conversation without talking about the youth. In one of my analysis, I realized that what they talk about when they say voter apathy, people don't care about what's happening in politics, isn't necessarily true about the youth, because I feel like right now we are on extremes. There is youth who are radicalized and they are ready for anything. That's why we have concerns about violence also coming from the population. We know of the NRM youth circles who beat up even a minister, was it a member of parliament sometime back, but also there are concerns about the Egali of the NUP. So it appears that the youth are on two extreme points. One where they do not care, and one where they care so much that they are ready to become violent about it. And I'm not saying that there are no moderate youth. Obviously, there are moderate youth. But now that the extremism has come to this extent, how do you think that will shape the credibility of elections, especially if the state and the institutions like the Electoral Commission do not follow through with their promises of giving a just, fair and free election?
I'll try to relate what I said about women, that we speak from where we are.
Yes.
Our youth are coming from, they're also speaking from where they are. First of all, we are in a generation of informed youth, active youth, result-oriented youth, and youth who are demanding change. You get it? Because most of the youth we see, they've been born on this regime.
Yes.
They have heard about, they painted in them a picture of the previous Uganda. They are seeing what is going on in other countries. Very many of them are educated and some are learned, but they have no jobs. You get it? And they are the majority of the population of Uganda. You get it? So they are coming from this place, painful place where many of them lack jobs. And they are seeing their grandparents, the old people, being corrupt and not moving away from spaces where they would have occupied. Even within their own parties, they are seeing the corruption that is going on. And they are seeing that even youth who have come up and want to contest in position, even within their parties, they are not being led to contest. They are seeing the pain. You get it? So it is from there how they are coming off. We have asked you saw the campaign around corruption. It was led by youth. Yes, we have to accept that many people, even the old, got engaged, other people contributed, but we must appreciate that the youth were at the front line to demand accountability, to demand people to be held up accountable of their action. They never got answers. Many ended up in prison. So someone who is coming up to inquiring of something that is happening, many youth are speaking about death in hospitals. Yes. They are speaking about infrastructures, but they're not getting answers. So with all that mixed in their minds, how they come off is what the government has given to them. Yes. They're left with no option rather than speak, because that is, maybe they feel that that is the voice people will hear. Of course, we can't say that military and police will let them, because for them they will come off saying that we are trying to protect the peace and the security for voters. You get it? But I think the youth feel they are not listened to. The youth feel they are not involved enough. The youth feel they are left behind. The question is it true? Yes, to some extent it's true. It is really true. The concerns of the youth are valid. So as the president's campaign, NRM is telling us of protecting the gain. How does that slogan speak to the youth? Which gain? With the questions the youth have. You get it? So it is going to leave us at crossroads. But we have to accept that the concerns of the youth are right. The concerns, when you hear about young women in political parties, or even young women in places looking for jobs, when you hear about their concern, they're all valid. So at the end of it all, yes, as we question their action, as we say that youth are being either hooligans, they are doing what they are doing is not right, you're speaking from where you are. For me to judge their action, I'm speaking from where I am. You get it? Problem is, people speak from the position of privilege. People judge from the position of privilege. You get it? Many people are judging the youth because they are in positions of privilege. Because maybe I can no longer go on the street and march. Because maybe I am protecting the gains. Depending on how you're defining protecting the gains, I will see their action irrelevant. I will think of, yes, it is okay. You people, I support dialogue because it's the best. Yeah. But where dialogue fails, where holding people accountable of their action fails, where we are seeing people walk away with crimes they've done and they're moving freely and they're again put in bigger positions, you expect what the youth are doing.
So the youth are being radicalized by the situation in the country.
It goes back to what I said, that people's decisions are shaped by
where they come from.
Where they come from and where they are. And other people's reaction still also towards the other people's reaction comes from where they are. And most times it comes from the place of privilege.
Thank you, Winfred. You know, we have so far, we have spent so much of our time and we've come almost to the end of our conversation, but you could give us some parting shots. What best practices can we maybe put into place to ensure that we have peaceful elections? Because that is the only conversation that we are having right now. In every seat, in every room, everyone is talking about we need peace, we need peace, we need peace. Or we need to do what is right to ensure peace.
And what is peace? What is peace? We talk about peace. Someone who is in Bududa and is affected with floods, we will define peace coming from that. Someone lacking food to eat, we will define peace coming from that. People who are in areas where they are being killed, and people who are in areas where there is a lot of human rights violations, they'll come to speak about peace with a narrative of human rights violations, either around abduction. For them, their narrative of peace is shaped with the narrative of around abduction. You get it? What am I trying to say? We need to collectively come together and speak about what do we really need. And if we are talking about we need peaceful elections, what is peaceful elections to you? If I can't walk to where, for a disabled person, peaceful elections is having access to going to the place where they can vote from. For the elderly, having a peaceful election, I think, is reaching the space and they can't be allowed because they can't stand for a long time.
Yes.
You get it? Some people, because for them they'll go early, even when they see the military, they have no problem with that. So when we speak about peaceful elections, first of all, let me give you an example. My national ID expired. They told us to go and register. And re-register, and then we will have the only thing I got is a message, Nira telling me that is it Nira? Those ones who work on
IDs, yes, Nira.
They sent me a message confirming that they have got my details of renewing my what?
ID.
Up to now, I've not heard from them. We are going into what?
Elections.
We have those people who are already 19 years, 20 years, who didn't vote when they were 17 during that time. They have not yet registered. So what do we mean by having peaceful election? Peaceful election is me, everyone having to vote peaceful and go back at their home alive. You get it? But again, that is also defined by the hindrances of where we are. But again, in general, we are looking at, when I want to go to the general now definition of peaceful election, having the army not involved, everyone is asking for that. I am also asking for that. We are asking for having elections where votes are not tampered with. Everyone envisions such election. But as we protect the gain, is it part of the gain? You know, when we have these slogans, for us women, we are not excited by slogans because those slogans are left there. For me, I can say that what they said about the other election, is it part of the gain? So if they are coming to protect such gains, what should I expect? What I can tell Ugandans, as we prepare ourselves to vote in January, is it January?
Yes, it's January. First
of all, think about you and your family. How are we going to stay safe in the Uganda we are in now? To reach January to vote. And as I go to vote, how am I protecting myself? We've seen people come up and claim. Personally, let me tell you, my brother was abducted in the other election, towards the election. He was released after election. After a few months, he died. So I have gone to that extent of telling people, how are you going to protect yourself and your loved ones to come through this alive, all together? You get it? So we need to have sound minds as we go to vote, whoever you're going to vote. Because at the end of it all, you're going to suffer, you alone and your family. So have sound minds as you go to vote. For women, we are a backbone in elections. Let's keep on sensitizing and educating other women so that people go and vote. Let's educate our families so that people go and vote. That is what I can say. But safety, peace and safety, relies in your hands. But again, to the government, the military, the government, the police, you're supposed to keep law and order and to protect the people. Firing to voters, no. That is something wrong. I would say that right now, because we have to accept that the president still has influence on all those arms. He still has influence. He has influence. They need also to sensitize the army, to have humanity in them. That as we go to vote, even when they want a certain candidate, even when they deny, because their action speaks, they need to think about the population. And when you think about behind a person you're going to shoot, just know there are a million of people depending on that person. So to have a better Uganda, it means that you have to be respectful. You have to keep law and order as it is in the Constitution. Let's protect our country together. Let's love the country, and let's not change because of blood. We have to shed blood to stay or to change.
Wow. Thank you so much, and I am glad that we had this discussion. I feel like we had a very in-depth discussion, even when we didn't have other panelists in. Thank you, Winfred, for joining me on the panel and for all the insights and for taking our time to have this important discussion about the position of women. This has been Women Speaking. Thank you so much for keeping it until the end. Like, subscribe, but also keep the conversation going. What type of Uganda do you want to see tomorrow? I'm your host, Caroline Ayot. Thank you for watching.